This close is going to be, and the cues kind of, I guess that's pretty interesting too, isn't it? So my question always at the close is, what have we bounced off of, right? What have we reclaimed? Now, I don't see this as an extraordinarily important level, right? But it has served as a cost basis. It's served as a floor and as a, no, that's about it. So what are we above, right? What would we need to hold on to in order to go up, looking at the 24-hour? And right now it seems like that was kind of important, right? To go down and close underneath this candle over here at 509. And we're relatively close, but when you bounce, you need to grab something, right? Where buyers are. And buyers aren't necessarily where sellers close. So this could make passing the baton over the weekend a lot smoother. Now, on the upside, there's also this. And we're pretty far away from that. So when I see that, when I look at this, right, it doesn't really get, it leans more towards, yeah, you could see continuation down. And that's where lower time frame, how can that happen, or how can we play this to the upside or the downside? And we have a box right here that's going to get us up, right? That's 513.88 on the cues. We also have a box underneath us, thankfully, right? And higher time frames rule, right? So 4 hour, 2 hour. If the candle closes there and maybe tries to punch back on a lower time frame, if the box is identifiable on the higher time frame, that's the box, and that's the candle close that needs to happen. So looking at this, you bounce, you pull, you retest, and that's exactly what we've done here towards the end of the day. So one can speculate on something over the weekend, triggering both of these at the same time, right? And looking forward, so what is the key word here on what we're looking at? It has a setup to do something, but you taking this because it has not triggered is what? Speculative. So position, I'm going to leave that as the definitive statement here is, and I hate that it is that way. When you look at the 4 hour, there is a potential, right? You still have a little pocket of empty space right there at 514. Um, but this isn't something where, at least as of right now, where I feel, and see, you have a little channel here on the lower time frame, 5 minute. I'd love to see how this plays out towards the end of the day. You know, it fills the little pre-market gap, hits 513. That could still be a great place to go short. So if it's speculative, I always hedge. Live visibility restricted. Your live is not eligible for recommendation in search result because it contains unoriginal and reproduced content. Can someone fill me in on? Anyway, that sucks.
Just called you basic.
Yeah, basically. All right.
Yo, what's up with the echo?
The echo?
Echo.
Can you hear
Oh
it?
yeah,
Close and
I'll
close
just
and open your Discord. That's what happened to me, and I just closed and opened it, and it was fine.
That's weird. So anyway, just to get conclusion here, you can see what you want to. I mean, I could see the potential for a strong rip up. I see a pocket of empty space right here, so it's got me thinking. It might be worth placing. So, and we'll look at the contracts here in just a moment and see if that lines up with what we want to what we want to do over the weekend. I think if you make it up into that empty space, that there's a good chance that we'll try and go break higher. So let's see really quick. It's trying to push up now, but 6. Saying 522. That's pretty far away. That's $24. I don't know. I might give that. I might give that a minute. I think if I take it, maybe I'll see if we can get a break over 511 right now, but maybe closer to the. Yeah, no music right now, guys, because I can't post the video on YouTube. Anyway, so 522 would probably be my target-based contract up there. To the downside, if we had anything extraordinary, we always have to look at the worst-case scenario. And again, I'd love to see more of a conclusion here. But that for me is going to be right around 497.50, and of course down in the 590, 493, 493 or 280 or whatever. All right, SPY. Now, obviously here you can see the floor, right? We stayed above it. In order to go up, and we bounce, what have we reclaimed? And as of right now, I don't really see much of any floors or anything that we've held before. Today's open was below that floor and you dumped. So 24-hour really doesn't tell me much of anything, but obviously does show a 4-hour setup. And I think it's important to remember that there is a gap right here at 595.33. There's a pocket of empty space right here up to 588. And there's, of course, a box that you're trying to pursue now with a cost basis of 583.20. 1,000%, how possible? If I invest 500, I will make up to 5,000 for how long? Bro, this is crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. And yeah, theoretically, you can make that kind of money. There's definitely people in here who, I mean, I think you can see as I scroll along here, the percentages are pretty high. 727. I mean, even if we don't have 1,000%, 900 and most of our trades, I would say, are somewhere in the 1,000%. Look at this one. That was 21,000%. Yeah, 600%. That's awesome. So anyway, there is a setup again where we got to look at what the lower time frame has to offer. There's a setup to go up and hit that 590. There's also a gap fill at 564.50. So again, if you stay right here, and the reason that I have to, guys, a lot of people will just make definitive statements, and sometimes I can. This is green. This looks good. Right? I like this. Good candle close. I can say those things a lot of the times. And you'll notice that it comes in waves, right? There will be like a couple of weeks where you'll hear me say more speculation, more this isn't confirmed, we're in range. This doesn't, and that's where I have to risk-wise adjust to that and pull back and be like, okay, let's look at this from 24-hour candle close, 4-hour candle close perspective. And if I can't come to a conclusion, but I can see a setup that plays out forward, I'll speculate. But that doesn't mean that I'm putting anything more than maybe $500. And for me, that's low risk. So right now, if again at gunpoint, for me, it's like you're retesting this. If you stay right here at the end of the day, that could just be somewhere where you pull back. But this is a strong bounce, and so being that you have a little bit of empty space up here, I could see that happening. I could see you punching up and then, or think about it. How we're in that kind of market where if you see a setup to the upside, that, you know, we got to be realistic. We're in a market where one tweet, one executive order, one, you know, press conference, and we're gapped up huge. And you'll look at it and you'll be like, well, I saw the setup and it wasn't confirmed, so I couldn't, you know, I couldn't take it. But, you know, that's where speculation comes in. It's like, okay, we are in that environment. We do have those variables that are present. So it's would make sense for us to, if you can, to speculate. But I never go into any speculative position one-sided. And that pays off, because if I'm speculating and I'm putting in $200, $300, $400, you know, if we were to go and fill this gap, if I was to take SPY, right, and like take it up in the $600 mark, which is where I have a target, you know, that would slap big time. If this gapped down and moved back to 564, you know, that's a 6, 7, maybe 1,000% play. I'm, you know, not doing math here. So, but anyway, I have to, you know, I can't make decisions for you guys. So if you make a bad decision and this does absolutely nothing and you put half your account into it and now you're pissed, that's a great opportunity for you to feel it and sit in it and try to make sure that next go around, you're not, you just can't. Prince, I would recommend that you go to my YouTube, man. I know you're eager. You seem like you're really excited, and that's awesome. But don't let the, just like a big green candle on the chart, don't chase. You know what I mean? Just coolly, collectively go check out my YouTube, go through my educational playlist, and then, you know, try to get an understanding of what I'm looking for here, the setups that I'm prioritizing. And you'll see a lot of them play out from those videos that I post. I mean, I think this morning I even mentioned MSTR going and hitting a target at 6. I don't know who asked me about that, but 367.75.
Yeah, I did, but I didn't take it after we talked about it. But it did do what you said it was going to.
I mean, dude, to the punch down, right? New low, you hit the cost basis and you've bounced. You know, so it's like you'll go through and see, we're looking for setups that look like this, right? You've got how many we talked about the amount of rejections that you've gotten off the top, the floor. So if you break down underneath that, that would give you your cost basis, and that'd be 385. If that breaks, then you're targeting the next one, which is right here. And we do that to the up and the downside. So anyway, last one, IWM. Really, really pretty fucking it's cheap enough, right? That this is definitely something that, you know, even the smallest of accounts could probably dip their toes in. But this one is hard to ignore, right? So when we bounce, we want to reclaim something. We want to pull ourselves back over something. And we did successfully pull ourselves back over here. Bam. We did successfully go and hit that 203 target on the lower time frame, which provided that empty space, or provided it had empty space. So the setup here now is potentially over the weekend, and I wonder if IWM is giving away the fact that we might have a bigger move going into next week, or even over the weekend opening up. Oh, we don't even have Monday. My bad. So we have Tuesday. Mind you, I've just remembered that long weekend. So over, right, if IWM pops over 204.35, that's where I like a move up to. I mean, honestly, this has a fucking kick-ass setup to punch back. Right? We can't. I've made that mistake in the last couple of months of even letting my own bias, you know, like bleed in. Like, we're in a market where, you know, we just saw the market go to its lows and go to its highs. Or back up close to its highs. So, like, you know, looking at this setup right here, I look to the first green candles to my left, right? And right now we're struggling just get over, and I really mean the tops and the bottoms of the first green candle to your left. You tapped that. That is what we need to break through in order to get that 204 and make that move up to 206. So if you're looking for a swing, or if there was to be a speculative setup, you haven't quite triggered it yet, but you do have a great target of 206. And because there is a gap up there at 209, did my sound cut off? I don't think so. Wait, what? Can you guys hear me? Discord?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Why are they saying I that's really weird. Discord must be having something going on.
Yeah, you were quiet for like almost a minute.
Really?
Yeah, right after you like brought up MSTR, it just went blank.
Damn. That's really odd. So anyway, let's take a look at these contracts and see if it's worth it. So 4 days out, and we're looking at 206. Those are $31. 207, 17, 208, which would be the legitimate not last target, but that would be the, kind of the end. I can't ignore the fact that 209 has a gap, but that would be theoretically where the end would be. So yeah, I have a 208, and at the farthest, which if it only goes to 206, you're not going to really feel that's where it gets really tough, right? Because when you're up against a major floor like that, your contracts can really suffer. So 206, 207, because those would be the ones that people are buying, and 208, those would all make for pretty solid contract selections. I don't mind the 208s. I'd probably do a little bit of both.
Are you taking these for Tuesday?
Yeah. 4 days out. Monday, the market's closed on Monday.
Yeah, it is.
Are you looking down at that at all or no?
Yeah, I have to. And it's worth it. Okay, so let's map this out, right? What's the worst case scenario here, folks? This is how we hedge right now. You could record this. I'm going to show you guys right now how I factor my hedges, okay? I'm looking right now on the fucking 5-minute time frame, right? I can go to the 15. And what I'm doing is I'm looking at what we see on the 24-hour, or excuse me, the 4-hour, where we're waking up here. I want to know what this is made of, right? Because this is going to help me target something to the downside. So I go to the 30-minute. Now I can see, right? I can see clearly now the bullshit's gone. So we have a floor that we are currently struggling, very much so, to break over. But I can't really see what's underneath me. So to the 15. Now I can actually see some solid structure here, right? We could even say here as well. So worst case scenario, 202 breaks and 201 breaks, and we come down and test 199. So look at the contracts, and 199s are $36 and 198s are $25, right? So that's currently what we can see as being the worst case scenario. So I go over here. I can see 198.81, which is, those are again 25 cents. So the furthest that I would go out in order to reduce my risk is 197. Because if you open up and you just flush straight down to 199, if you look at the chain, you'll see how those contracts expand in volume 3 strikes out of the money. So usually I would say that's a pretty good golden rule of thumb, is if you're 3 strikes, within 3 strikes of the target, for the most part, right? We can't apply this to every single one, like, Shopify or something that has weird spreads, or, it could be anything that has low volume. So yeah, that being said, 3 strikes is usually a good rule of thumb. So the worst case scenario here is that we end up back at 199.44, being 3 strikes. Within 3 strikes of that, again, 197s would be a decent. And those are, 22 cents. All right. This just got way more expensive.
So you like IWM better than the Qs or SPY?
So I wouldn't necessarily say that, because I mean, look at how much empty space is down below. And again, what was I just mentioned this a couple minutes ago, right? I want to see how we respond to the structure and the floor up above us. And right now we're seeing a little bit of a pullback, which again, that's not enough for me to just be like, yeah, we're going short. But if we were to give the punch and the punch, yeah, I would love to, and that's one of the reasons that I would say Qs and IWM I'm favoring, because if you look at SPY and how much distance it has left to run in comparison to the Qs, it's pretty decent difference here, right? You're pretty close to 566. Here it's 488. We're still in the 500s, so yeah. You demand Potter, my QQQ puts went from 30 cents to $205. That is delicious. Love to see it, man. Reward percentage for this live plus 5%. What does that even mean? Dump into close. Well, if this was a retest of the floor up above us and we can get a leg down here by the end of the day, that would definitely help me make that definitive decision. So, all right, folks, let's take a look at what you guys are looking at going into the weekend here. Let's see here. ENPH. See some 4-hour empty space clearly up above you. What did you bounce off of? So just a floor bounce there. You kind of wicked past it. So let's bring this down. See what you bounced off of. An old floor. You wicked off of an old floor. And then you've recovered that 39.50. So let's move back over. And then lower time frame. Okay, so this makes my life easy. You're in a box. You're resisting the top here at $40. $40 is clearly where you're likely to go and retest 42.05 and perhaps the $43 mark. So lots of empty space there. Let's see if there's a channel that's applicable here. Looks like you kind of flirted with it. Looks like it's also, if you were to expand it, it would still be valid. But regardless, that is a good bit of empty space. Now, I think the question is, because of how you're running up and down inside of it, are you going to build a box, pop out, and then, or maybe even just hit the top of it and pull back into the base, tap 3780, and then use that to get up and out? So that, no confirmation there, it definitely is going for that third run up. And if that's the case, if it is going to go and make a new high, I would bank on there being a channel like this, and that should take you still to that $42 target. So, all right. Lulu for earnings. What is earnings? Fuck.
I think it's next week too. Their earnings.
Well, the weekly, I find that pretty interesting. So you can kind of just go ahead and say above 325. That's where Lulu likes to go back up. And that's where you would target 364. So that could be a target. Now, again, you're being pulled back underneath it. This is your candle close here. There does appear to be a long-winded channel right about there. So, I mean, the potential could be, and this might even, could even happen on earnings, but a fall down and you could wick and then bounce. And I think that you would have to break that 350, at least on this time frame. And ultimately, I would say 364 would be a target. If it ran any more following 391, I think that's a solid target as well. And that's actually an old cost basis, it looks like.
You don't like it? Never mind. I was gonna say more to the downside.
Well, I look at empty space as a reason why I get into anything. So when I look at where the potential is, it's like the potential's in here, right? The potential's right here, but you are fucking close as shit to that. This is clearly a floor or like something that you're struggling to reclaim. So and that's 350. That's more than likely caused by this little fucker. Yep. So yeah, there's more factors. So I look at like, okay, well, you have 2 boxes to break. And if Lulu can make an explosive move, which is something that we also have to look at, can Lulu make an explosive move, right? And it does appear that that is the case. It does look like here, at least, earnings not so great. I mean, that's empty space, right? You're moving in up into that empty space here. I mean, that's great if you play it both ways. Here, same thing, decent, pretty good on this one. So you definitely are, it's a responsive stock to earnings. So you could bank on a move coming. And so I think 285 down, right? That makes sense. If by some chance it could wick off of its imbalance or hold one of these floors that it's reclaimed, which I think that's where you're at now. So maybe, and I mean, I've seen crazy earnings where right at the bell, you'll wick down and then numbers will come out and then you'll get high guidance and whip right back up. Thank you, Liv. I appreciate that. Am I leaning more to the upside or the downside on the Qs? Right now, I think I've moved into both of them equally, but I would say right now I'm waiting for the close to kind of lean in one direction more than the other. If I can't do that, then I just kind of stay on the fence, 250 on both sides, and it's low risk and allows me to speculate. So, but yeah, I'd like to see the candle close here to get a better idea. Right now, it's just a retest. There's a potential to punch back and pop, and be up around 525 or break down and go and see 398. The worst case scenario here is that we use this pocket and we build more sideways. Of course, more inside candles, not good. We're nearing that like 5 or 6 days though, being right around the same 24-hour range. We've definitely lost that previous floor, but still on the fence. And we don't have, like, when on those days where we just can't come to a conclusion, like that's where you either don't or you speculate if you can afford it. But if you can't, we're gonna keep repeating the same thing. If you can't, don't. And yeah, you're gonna miss moves. It's too bad. You just have to get over it. You will catch one, but it's going to be one that makes the most sense and gives you a clear signal. All right.
Yeah.
Who is that? All right. QBTE. That looks like it could go 24-hour wise. I see more empty space up above you. I see a wick here, and candle closes here. So if I was targeting more to the upside, since you're still holding outside of 1290, that would be my target to the upside. Peloton. I haven't looked at this one in a while. That's a you should send that one to Plunger. Fuck. That actually looks pretty good. That doesn't look that great. But that looks pretty. That's a high probability setup with, I mean, even if you're just a fucking knucklehead new trader, 850.
Yeah, that's what I was seeing. It was closing on top of that floor too.
Yeah, I mean it goes against here. Yeah, that's huge. You know, you reclaimed the floor. You got outside of the wall. That's gonna amount to something. The issue that
And that's an area where it's popped before a lot. It's went on runs from that, you know.
Yeah. I mean, I see an 825, 850, and ultimately, looking at the channel, it would be $9, 915 that I would be looking at. How those contracts? That's my next question because.
Yeah, the contracts are already up from when I posted that too. It's like the IV must be kicking up on them. They've already went from like 12 cents to like 20 cents.
See that? Low volume starting to bleed in. It's just broken over. It's tough to. I mean, 7 days. It's got to be. It's got to be enough time. It moves, man, so radically. It's like you can't. 7 days away doesn't feel safe enough. 9 days away, $9 strike. That feels better. It's $30. I'll give it a shot. It's almost. Let's see here. I don't feel great about it, but it's intriguing enough for me to speculate here. Worst case scenario is, yeah, it's almost not even worth hedging. It's just worth sticking to a stop loss if it falls. So, again, a lot of people stop losses will hit, and some people ask me, like, did you get out? And it doesn't matter, whether at what I did or not. I could have a completely different risk tolerance than you. Like Riot, I that went to fucking nothing, and that's okay. I didn't hardly put anything. I already made it back. So
Yeah, it's weird. Like these contracts, they're already up like almost 100% in like 15 minutes.
that must be volume moving into them. I mean, that's the only thing I would assume. You could probably find a sweep somewhere there, somewhere over in the flow people, whatever. What about the weekly? That's a weird one. I'd say 850. That's gotta be that's the weekly target right now is 850, 848.
That's it. Yeah, that's exactly what I did. 850.
Yeah. Cool. Well, I took a small position on it. We'll see what we get out of that one. I think it's worth a little bit. All right. Apple. Look at the weekly setup on this. That shit looks like it's about to fall out. Doesn't it? I mean, you could get a green candle pop right back up here. I could see that happening as well, but it also just looks like it's gonna fucking lose it, dude. And when I look at this is exactly what the fuck we talked about today. Holy shit. So yeah, you went straight to the floor and you bounced. This is the third time. I mean, fuck. What more can you ask for? What more could you ask for? Except for maybe one more bounce, but if you're bullish. I mean, at this point, when we're in this kind of box, I look at the dynamics that built it. You know, did you fall with empty space? You know, what do you have below you? This looks like it could yeah, Monday. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it could go up before it goes down and give you a retest. But that being said, maybe it could be better to take after that's done. But my thing is, you know, this is the third time on the floor, and the way that you dumped to the floor, it's like right here. You dump fast, you build, you go crazy with some weird fucking box, you know, which is likely something that could happen in here. And I think I wouldn't go short until 200 gets retested. If you do, I mean, I get it, but there's just that doesn't fit my risk, you know. I would have to take it when it breaks the lows. That will be, I mean, that's getting to be a good setup though. So, all right. So speaking of Riot, and then we'll have to. Do I have some settings on where I can't see comments? Some people are like saying they're commenting on my stream, and let's see here. Auto translation. No, don't do that. Hide spam and offensive comments. Nah, give me it all. Wait, what? Keyword filters. Chill maggot. Ivy, did you do this? Ivy, look at you.
What was that, Chef?
All the keywords that you put in. Oh, you can't. You could leave FUCK on there. Yeah, it's good. Yeah, all the stupid coins. Cool. Anyway, 24. So this is in a place where, I mean, I still see this play happening. Now it's getting to be where I'm looking at the weekly, and it might end up taking a little bit more time. You've got what appears to be a channel here, and so that could lead us on a sideways downside journey. As of right now, I would take this on a punch back up, and at the moment you have the setup. I'm curious, should I set it there? I don't really have a flat top. That's the sucky part about that, but we'll go ahead and leave it like this. So if we could punch up right now, this, you could just call this a retest, and very easily you could be back at 789, which is the target to the downside. 789 and $8 fat. $8 flat, sorry. So that's what I see on Riot is you're hanging on to just like the queues and everything else. This is either a retest and we're going to leg down, or this is a potential punch back up. Damn, dude. Can't believe it's been that long since we nailed that fucker.
Ooh.
Who? What are you, an owl?
Hey, yo. Puppy got some sleep or what?
What do you mean who? Me. I traded ANF up. It was a long time ago, so like all the way over here. This I haven't touched it since. Let's see here. I don't like that. I don't like that. Could like that, but it's not enough. I don't know. This doesn't seem very enthusiastic. So over 82.62, right? You just got to play the box. Honestly, when I sink it back down, it looks like it's, yeah, it might end up punching down. So below 72, we might end up seeing another new leg down and following that weekly channel. Ultimately, I think that there's likely going to be a $46 retest at some point. This is all empty space, you know. It's funny that you're dumping into it the way that you are. Roku was looking down to 65. Alert went off pre-market, but it's recovered a bit. Thoughts? Let it cook. And that candle could turn red pretty easy, or not turn red, but that's a tough call right there. Yeah, you're very close to achieving. You just held on today, just enough. I could see that gap getting filled first. I mean, I would totally understand why. Yeah, I mean, I honestly, it doesn't look that bad. You're at a floor. The most recent price action, you have a floor over here, and you're retesting it now. So, I would say, 1, 2, 3. If you had yourself, you know, you could take it now and aim for 66. So that one might need a little more cooking. I see what you see though. Wow. So absolutely cooking the consolidation right now. But the giant wick out, typically when I see something like that, I immediately am thinking down. So maybe longer expiration contracts, that's the move. But yeah, I don't know why. Is there like 2 boxes or something here? That wick out there to fill the empty space and then the pop back down, you know, definitely makes me feel like there's more of a downside bias and a move potentially to the low and down to the $20 target underneath you. But of course, at the exact moment you're bouncing, which, you know, could give you time to either retest 27.87 and then curl back down, but you have a for sure 25.50 break downside. And then upside, yeah, you would need to basically be outside of 28.78. And that would start by a retest of 28 first. But that empty space, you know, setup wise, weekly, which is where I really would lean here. I think equity wise or long term, you got to start with this box here at $33. So, all right. Get to do lawn work when I get done with this. Super excited. How hot is it out there? It's only 82 actually. That's nice. I miss you. I miss you too, Milk. I'm gonna be honest with you though. Even the word milk makes me want to gag. I hate milk.
You sure you don't want to gargle?
You know what?
Dude,
That's-
what's up, Jill?
we gotta ban this guy immediately. You know all of this goes on YouTube. You know, if you're watching this later on, you know,
You're welcome to the
drop
sound
it.
clip.
Drop it in the comments. Should we ban Astro? 1 for
forget-
yes, 2 for no.
Don't forget my referral link.
Ivy just said yes. Yo, Dave! Holy shit! Jesus Christ. Yeah, the thought of drinking like whole milk, I can't imagine doing something like that.
So it's so delicious.
That's
Ice cold whole milk. Mm.
awful.
That's not true.
Come on.
Sounds
You know
like
what? If you're gonna drink cow milk, then you might as well just drink it all. Kangaroo milk, cat milk, Just why not? You're drinking cow milk. Yeah, see, ain't got nothing to say now. Milkers, milk slurpers. I don't like PDD right now. I mean, it has a lot of consolidation. I could see a punchback. That punchback could lead you to 141. But Chinese stocks are always a bitch for me to try to do analysis on because they just really don't give me much information at all. And PDD is in a fat weekly range coming off of the third bounce. So my guess is likely 141. Yeah, Dave went crazy with the ones, dude. TSLL. What did that do? Stayed in a box. So I think the inevitable outcome here is you got to get to 17. But of course, you've now spent, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days in range. And I would be willing to guess if I just did a quick average. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and move. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're done. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you move. I see a bunch of this shit, but even there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you move. Interesting. Am I discovering something new here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and you move. Holy shit. That's just not true.
You're a
1,
wizard.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fuck. I think just off of premise, we don't have to buy that shit. I mean, you get these. I bet you I could go and, I mean, you look at that and you look at that, that almost looks equal in time. I know this is not what you guys asked for, but
Are you able to run like a scanner to find like situations like that and it kind of orbs it up?
hold on a second. Why? That's fucking wild. I mean, probably anything's possible nowadays. That's pretty much the exact same amount of time. So you either consolidate for, and I know you don't want me to do this, but I'm going to count anyway. When should I start this range? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. So 30, you spend a month. Okay, so I just 15th to the 15th. Get the fuck out of here. So a month. That's a month. So you either consolidate for a month or 8 days. 6 to 8 days. And you move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Fuck off. Is that a month? Let's see. 27th. No shit. Basically right around another month. October 10th to November 7th. Anyway, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Empty space up, empty space down. Get the fuck out of here. I'll put $1,000 on both sides. Wipe my ass. Within the next 7 days. If not, we're cooked for the rest of the month. But okay, so
High risk,
target-
high reward.
I'm really trusting you on this one, Potter.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, man. I'm
Yeah,
putting the house on.
Welcome to the
Hold on,
8-day
let me go to
candle
the bank real
strategy
quick.
rule.
Did I just convince everybody? I'm sure.
It's the 8-day rule.
Big uppy.
What's the percentage on loans nowadays?
Oh my god. Diabolical.
It's fine. Just
So
sign up for max margin.
max margin, wild. Let's see here. So the target would be, and it's almost like you should go 14 days. But it's almost oh, smoking on that TSLL pack. I mean, damn, 19s are $6, 1950s are fucking $5, and that's within the next 7 days. And then you look down, and you got $12. $12. Those are 11 cents. Now, the tough part of this is, where's my bias? I think, how many rotations can you get? It almost feels like you have to. You got to come back. Unless Tesla. Oh, shit. 1286. We know how this goes. One news article and we're in Rip Dick territory. You calling
You mean
signals?
like Robo Taxi for June?
Whatever. I mean, whatever it is that
Big
makes
taxi.
whatever bricks Astro up, we need that.
Yes.
So, except for single moms. I'm sorry. Too far. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I didn't tell you
Yes,
that.
Queen. Listen, I'm sorry.
That was funny. That was funny.
That was unfounded, uncalled for. I should.
Dude got a little extra sprinkle on there.
Sorry. Anyway, I love you, Astro. So punchback. Yeah, Elon says anything. Channel's broken. $17, easy. Regular price action over the weekend, $12.75, and then maybe, and that's a strong maybe we get down into the 1150s. But a big move is bound to happen. I mean, we've got the same setup here, You get a big move, so I'm gonna fucking do it. In this case, I will try to cut the other side, unless it happens over the weekend. I'll put $500 on the puts. And 17. I mean,
What are you gonna get? The 13s or the 1250s?
For the downside,
Yeah.
I'm gonna I just
Probably 12s, no?
yeah, 12s. 12s.
Top of that box.
The channel, and there's a small box here, so that could be something that happens over the weekend. But
Yeah, I have right at the top of a box is 12. All those wicks.
how much are Tesla contracts right now? Expensive. Hold on one second here. 12.
So are you thinking of maybe grabbing a few of next week's as well?
I am grabbing next week's.
I mean 2 weeks.
That would be if you want to take it to 19, excuse me. If you want 1950, you got less than, or about a minute here in just a second. $19 would be up, it has a much farther target away, but you look at the distance in between the two, and it's damn near equal from here. Yeah, basically literally the same. So 1000%, yeah, I could definitely see this being a big play. It's odd because hold on a second. Tesla, fuck. There's no time.
I'm in.
All right. I just grabbed a few 300s.
That would be a heck of a move.
ETFs are moving down and the individuals.
Yep.
Do you hear about that thing that you can get that silences things and you don't need a stamp for those anymore? That's pretty cool.
What the fuck are you talking?
The
A
little,
thing that silences things.
yeah, the oil can that goes on the end of certain apparatuses that make things really quiet. Go America.
I'm still unclear.
Silencers.
Yeah. 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 Ooh. Market just closed. I swear to God, my eyes just started going fucking cross-eyed.
8 is the number.
Google. Let's see here. That has a wild setup. You could definitely pull yourself right back up and go and get yourself a retest of 170. You have a box right here. That Tesla, man, we can use that in the future, folks. That's a perfect example of waves, like riding the wave. I mean, now you guys can take that information. You're either going to consolidate for around 8 days, 8 to 9 days, or if that doesn't break, you could leave it alone, right? Try it after that wave. If it doesn't work, you got to wait a month, basically. It either takes a month or it takes 8 days. Week, month. We wrote that shit down. Yeah. I'll never forget it. Fucking that felt like the exact same way that I found the Potter box. Where I was like, wait, hold on. I just drew this box and every single time it goes through the 50% mark, it keeps going. Like,
Can we name it
or
after Astro?
what the fuck are we gonna call it? The Astro Tesla waves?
I mean, throw something in there for you.
Oh, brother.
You said, oh, brother. Oh, Lord have mercy. That was funny, dude.
So it's like 2 months, but
Is it? Wait, did I do that wrong?
yeah, that for this, especially this last consolidation, it was 2 months, and even that
Oh, are you
huge,
talking? Oh, you're talking about like this whole thing.
yeah,
Yeah, that is true. Well, let's put a little bit of that to the test, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and that's still a pretty responsive move, right? And this is
that is
this is established. Yeah, so it's a weekly range is something that theoretically you can play in, right? Because it's still likely to provide some sort of empty space setup. So then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, whoop, down to the floor. Right? You get 2 days and you bounce, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You start the punch and continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it literally gets started on the 9th day. So when God rests, Tesla moves. Wait, how many days did God make the universe or something like that? So I think it was 5 or 7 days. Never mind.
it was 6, and on the last day he rested.
All right, it didn't hit like I wanted it to.
No.
It's
Almost,
close. I like
almost.
where
6 is an upside down 9.
Oh, there you go. Wow, overconnected. So, wow. I mean, I kind of want to keep looking. All right, so right here you consolidate for a while, and that's starting on the 31st of December and ending on the 31st of January. That's uncanny. You get 2 extra days. So, I mean, just having an idea of when something's going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and you start. Damn, it's like Tesla has a menstrual cycle or something. Or maybe there's a different way to word that, but he was a fairy. It takes 7 days to withdraw too. I'm a believer. everybody's connecting with this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 to 9 days. 7 to 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not so much right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the tight, look at that. You get really, really tight consolidation. Really nice move after that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You're off. Like, that's fucking horrendous. But look at what it leads to. This is just a fucking beautiful example of waiting. You know what I'm saying? Like, let the waves, let a box build. Boom, 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 bam. This gets a boom. 3 big booms.
Some good onomatopoeias.
There you go. Stop repeating it. Circadian rhythm, yeah. God, what did that guy say? He said, that shit's so strong, it's fucking up my circadian rhythm. Astroglide setup. That's crazy. QQQ is dumping. How long do we have right now? That's good. Pay attention to this. So that was a retest. That is now, yeah. That is now a retest. You still have a little pocket up there, so if you open up in range, but we'll see what we get. Yeah, a little bit more bias to the downside, but QQQ right now, that's what I wanted to see. You know, it hasn't lost anything yet, but exactly, look, you're starting. And like the IWM, right? You have this will be a very important area of consolidation right here. Warrior Jelly Bean Gal. Have a great evening. Thanks for tuning in. Is everybody in here, by the way, who's watching? Are you guys all subscribed to the YouTube? Just curious. If you don't know, I have one. I do. It's good. All right, let's take a look. PLTR. Okay, so this is the Ivy, will you clip this? This is where the example of quicksand, right? A lot of the times when your foot dips back underneath quicksand, right, you struggle. And that's what you're seeing right now. It's a struggle to try to get back up and out. So you keep allowing price to go back up to that floor to see if any buyers want it. And when you do, nobody does. And when it falls, it drops down to that 119 where you seem like you have some people, right, at least for the last 3 days, have held that 1950. So that's where we can kind of look for, okay, well, you got a gap down here to the top. This was once upon a time what we could consider to be a range. We could clear that up on the 24-hour. I would say so. It's not a box, but it was a range. So now we go into the dynamic, or the lower time frame dynamic, and it is already kind of clear. There looks like there's probably a channel here. Something along the lines of that. I don't like it. I'm getting rid of it. So here's the fight, right? The fight is here. Above 126, you have a chance to try to go and punch through that box. Down below you, this is not a good box, okay? There's quality boxes, and then there is not so quality boxes, right? This is a box. That's a box. You know, this could be considered a box. That could be considered a box. That's kind of okay. You know, that's a box. But when you look at something like this, it's just like a weird gap down. You would have to go down into a lower time frame, and now you can kind of see what it's made of. Usually ranges will still have some sort of 50% mark, and that's what you're bouncing off of. So if it does fall, I would just go ahead and, yeah, consider 119.35 a trigger to potentially go and fill that 110 gap. Red 2, oh Lord. So I could see this thing coming down a little bit more. To argue against that, right, which is always a good thing to do. To argue against that, it would be like, well, you are holding pretty strongly. And right now you don't really have enough. You do have a rejection overhead, and that would be the third time, but you also have 3 times off the bottom. So a little bit, it's got to be one of those where you read and react. If you lose that floor there, I'm going to go ahead and assume you're going to be back down. And that foot is going to sink, Where that leads you, I mean, you're starting to really get into the danger zone of maybe being all the way back down at 97. But if I was bullish, I would hope to see something along the lines. And I think that's definitely more realistic. But even if it was just this, I would hope to see something like that to give you another new high. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording now. I will see you guys on Tuesday if you're watching on YouTube, 8:30. We'll also be live on Monday. I know futures open up on Sunday, or I think they do, but yeah, they do. Yeah, I'll be live on Monday night. We'll do it at 6:30 p.m. and we'll see what we can see based on where futures have opened up. Hopefully we get a big move over the weekend. That's really all we need to see in order to make money. Literally, that's it. So, if any of you have high-powered, political connections that can get Trump to tweet something, that'd be sick. But otherwise, that's it.
Okay, Potter, are you
Chef.
leaning towards the downside
Huh?
on the Qs? Are you leaning towards the downside on the Qs?
Part of me, yeah, is thinking this could be a downside move, but I'm never convinced until something is closed on or down. One of the things that I think is in the back of my mind when I look at this setup, just looking at it like this, is because you have not lost that floor. If, and this is the only variable, if anything's newsworthy came, we're going back, right? And that's something that we're obviously hedged for. But that's one of the reasons why I feel speculative, because whenever I go short, I want to know that we're going to lose something major, and we didn't. So what's to say that Monday, if we open up close to where we're at now, that you don't just bounce, how many times have we seen that, on the wick and come right back up? So this is why the position is speculative. And yeah, based on where we're, if I look left and try to use what's in the most recent price action, this is something we broke over that we're falling underneath. But also what is helpful is to look at something like, IWM, or to look at, what was it? The Qs and SPY. They're all
Tesla.
Tesla as well. But they're all like, look, SPY's right there. You're on that floor. Tesla, right? You're being held down. But regardless, next week is set, I think, to be a good week again. And I had a great week. I don't know about everybody else, but yeah, have a good weekend, Dean. Ivy, what were you gonna say?
Hi, Chef. Yeah, for those 2 recorded videos, should I just send it to you directly, or you want me to upload it on Wisdom Collective?
The fuck is that? Sorry.
Wisdom Collective, that's where I post some educational teachings that
Wait, I
you...
thought that was like a website outside. Yeah. You could do that, but you could also upload those onto the drive, so that way Marzel has access to them.
Okay, Chef, thank you.
Yep.
All right, you guys have a good weekend. I'll see you guys Monday night.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Monday night. Yeah, of course. Have a good weekend, guys. Enjoy yourselves.
Good night, y'all.
Night.
Thanks,
cool.
guys. Thank you,
Queen.
Potter.
Yep.
Yes.
Queen.
Thank you, everyone.
Peace
Thanks,
out.
Dad.